I am Lyra, and for 3 long years, my life has been defined by a cold, searing resentment for Kaelen, the tech genius. Not the Kaelen who stands on stages, the ruthless CEO of the colossal Apex Corporation, but the Kaelen I grew up with. My childhood confidant, the boy who dreamed of using technology to help people, not just exploit them. He was a promise I believed in, until he wasn't. My day began with the grimacing face of Kaelen plastered everywhere. On the holographic ads flashing across the city, on the data pads of every commuter, even on the box of nutrient paste Jenna, my roommate, handed me. Seriously, Lyra, get over him. He's Kaelen, the silicon god. You are Lyra, the unpaid graphic designer. Her words were useless. Kaelen was hosting an exclusive Apex launch event that evening, and I knew I had to go. I needed him to see me, to remember me, to explain why he deleted me from his existence after he moved to the city. I used my old media pass to slip into the high-security compound. When I finally cornered Kaelen by the prototype display, my heart was hammering, but the words I had practiced for years vanished. He turned, his usually warm eyes now an empty shade of blue light. "Do I know you?" he asked, his voice devoid of any inflection. "I believe you are blocking the flow of invited guests. Please move along." His security detail instantly pulled me away. As I was being escorted out, I yelled his name, but Kaelen merely looked through me as if I were a ghost. The hurt was physical. Jenna insisted I had unresolved trauma, but I knew better. Kaelen wasn't just busy, he was different. The Kaelen I knew was gone. Driven by an obsessive need for answers, I saw the perfect opportunity. Apex was hiring a new systems analyst to manage the CEO's personal tech. Using an old contact and a new forged professional identity, Mira, I landed the job. I traded my signature bright red hair for a muted charcoal wig and wore glasses that slightly distorted my jawline. I looked boring, and that, ironically, got me in. The HR manager noted, "Most applicants just want an autograph. You look like you just want the paycheck, Mira." Good working with Kaelen was a nightmare. He was tyrannical, demanding, and robotic. He had a meticulous schedule, color-coded by the second, and barked orders that seemed designed purely to humiliate. "Mira, this data encryption is using a legacy protocol. Did you not read the updated security memo? Fix it. Now." Every conversation felt like a transaction. The only person Kaelen seemed to defer to was Victor Thorne, the powerful primary investor, and Kaelen's self-proclaimed mentor. Thorne's influence was everywhere, his presence like a dark, suffocating fog. One afternoon, I was reviewing Kaelen's financial logs when a warning flashed. An unauthorized bulk transfer had been flagged, routing funds to an offshore shadow account. Before I could log the anomaly, Kaelen strode in, his eyes narrowed. "You access the restricted financial servers. That's a security violation, Mira. You're done. Get out." He was instantly angrier than the infraction warranted. I tried to argue that Thorne's account was suspicious, but Kaelen just snarled, "I don't need conspiracy theories. You're a liability. Go." Later that evening, packing my few personal items, I saw Kaelen rush into a maintenance dock, followed by 2 of Thorne's imposing security enforcers. I saw one of them slam Kaelen against a wall and inject him with something. I rushed forward, but before I could reach them, Kaelen broke free and vaulted onto a maintenance lift, beckoning me up. We shot up several levels to the rooftop, the enforcers' shouts echoing below. As we jumped across the gap to an adjacent building, Kaelen's breathing was ragged. "Kaelen, what was that?" Who are those people? I demanded, catching my breath. He leaned against the railing, finally looking at me with something other than cold indifference. They were administering my maintenance dose to keep the memory stable. I'm sorry, Lyra. Memory? What are you talking about? And how do you know my name? Kaelen ran a weary hand through his hair. He explained the unthinkable. 3 years ago, he discovered Thorne's plan to weaponize the core Apex technology. When Kaelen tried to stop him, Thorne staged a lab accident. It wasn't just an accident. Thorne installed a proprietary synthetic neuro-implant into Kaelen, essentially wiping his personal memories and programming him with a ruthless, efficient CEO personality. This new Kaelen was entirely under Thorne's control. He didn't remember me because the Lyra data had been overwritten. But I started to remember small things, he whispered. The way you chew on your thumbnail when you were nervous. The fact that I'm left-handed, not right. Thorne noticed the instability, which is why he increased the maintenance doses and why he fired you, because he knew you were a piece of my past. The ultimate leverage Thorne held, however, was Kaelen's father, Mr. Alaric. Kaelen's father, the real genius behind Apex, had been sidelined and was now being held captive in a remote location. Thorne uses my father's safety to ensure I comply. If I expose him without rescuing my father, Thorne will activate a kill switch in the implant, and my father is lost forever. I can't expose him until my father is safe. The mission was clear. We had to find Mr. Alaric. Thorne kept the location locked behind the most sophisticated iris scanner, his own. Our best chance was the annual Apex Vision product launch in 2 days. Thorne would be the keynote speaker, standing in a stadium surrounded by thousands. Our plan was daring. Kaelen would distract Thorne during the keynote. I, using my reinstated Mira access badge, would pose as a member of the technical team. Hidden in my glasses was a miniature lens capable of capturing a perfect iris scan. Once I got the scan, I would need to find the specific terminal that contained the decryption key to locate his father. On the day of the launch, the tension was palpable. Thorne was on stage, basking in the applause. I, disguised as Mira, moved through the backstage area, my heart pounding a rhythm against my ribs. Kaelen was giving a technical presentation beside Thorne, his face a mask of cold professionalism. I waited until Kaelen executed the planned diversion, a sudden manufactured data glitch on the main screen. Thorne, momentarily frustrated, lowered his head and rubbed his eyes. That was my chance. I stepped closer, pretending to adjust a microphone stand, and angled my head. Click, the scan was captured. But Thorne was cunning. He looked up, his eyes immediately fixating on my glasses. "You're new," he stated, his smile sharp. "Take those off." I froze. Kaelen, seeing the danger, instantly activated a deep system override. The stage lights flared, and the entire platform went dark, triggering a mass panic. Thorne's guards moved, but not toward the crowd. They moved toward Kaelen. "You betrayed me, boy!" Thorne roared. I ran, hearing Kaelen's cry as Thorne's men subdued him. I found the terminal and used the iris scan to unlock a secure file. It wasn't the location, it was a remote access portal. I uploaded a stealth program and located Mr. Alaric's confinement, a decommissioned bioengineering dome in the northern sector, only accessible by a specialized access card. I immediately fled the stadium, the captured iris data, my only ticket. I drove the length of the city, dodging Thorne's security sweep. When I arrived at the dome, The entrance required the access card, which I didn't have. But I had Thorne's iris scan. I manually rerouted the dome's security system, feeding it Thorne's data, and the massive door hissed open. Inside, I found Mr. Alaric, thin and weak, hooked up to an outdated server. I quickly worked to free him. Kaelen, is he all right? He asked weakly. He bought us time, I assured him. He's still with Thorne. Mr. Alaric, a true technologist, was instantly on the primary console. Thorne is about to give his final summary. The final moment of his keynote is the transfer of the stolen Apex source code. I can hijack the broadcast. Kaelen will be free. As Thorne took the stage again, holding the device that controlled Kaelen's neuro-implant, Mr. Alaric's signal cut through the world feed. Suddenly, the image on every screen wasn't Thorne. It was a full diagnostic report of Kaelen's implant, Thorne's illegal funding routes, and a video confession from Mr. Alaric detailing the takeover. The crowd erupted into chaos. Thorne, defeated, was tackled by the authorities. Days later, Kaelen was released from the neuro-implant's control. The Kaelen I knew was slowly returning. He looked at me, this time with a faint memory of the boy who had dreamed big with me. I don't remember everything, Lyra, he admitted, a genuine sadness in his voice. But I remember the feeling that I was missing something important. And that something was you. It's okay, I said, a wave of relief washing over me. We've got plenty of time. We can start from the beginning. He smiled, a real, warm smile, and for the first time in 3 years, Lyra felt that her resentment had finally been deleted, replaced by the promise of a future,